So sometimes it's about what you choose, but what chooses you. Many a time we focus too much on what we want to do before we actually invest on who we are and what will we attract. Nowadays, you see people changing career in the middle of their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. The worst is judgment and feeling conscious that other people are judging you. You create your own pathway in life. At 35, she did the license for planes. At 45, for boats. At 55, I'm curious what's
coming out next. Submarines.
If you want growth, you have to do the change. Be grateful for what you have and always work with what you have. So whatever situation you're in, this is what I have right now and I have to work with it.
And that attracts then more, like you're saying, joy and happiness and goodness in your life.
Hello everyone, welcome to Empowered Beauty. My name is Daria.
And I'm Nicola, and today we have two special guests. They're sisters and they have over 25 years of TV experience. Today we have Clare and Pauline Agius. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to just dive in and just share with everyone your vast knowledge and experience in the TV industry and so many other industries as well, not just television.
Thank you for having us. Like mommyhood.
Exactly, which is the most probably challenging.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. And we would like to know, so far what we discovered or what we've seen on your social media page, you have so many different passions. Passion for traveling, interior design, yoga, sport, beauty, cooking, everything. How you've chosen your career, being a TV presenter and
I think actually I'll start off because I'm the eldest. So, although I have not paved any pathway, Pauline was always free to do whatever she wanted. I did start off early on as a person by nature. I always had a diverse nature within me. So, for example, I would love maths at school, but then I also liked theatre. At school level, I'm saying. So when I look back on my childhood, I also realized that I was always a bit open to things. Then I think our jobs in television, which started very early on, I was about 20 when I started the first program, and before that I had a career in theatre, which also exposed me to a lot. But because of our job, we were naturally, daily, being exposed to different things. So then, if you are an enthusiastic person, you try this, you try that, you do this, you do that, because we were interviewing a lot of people, we were meeting a lot of people. And then, ultimately, you have to choose your likes. Some passions have been with us, with me from when I was very, very young. Others I adopted later on, like yoga and sports. I was really not sporty and in my teens at all, but that came later in life. But some passions like traveling, I think that comes from our father. He worked with the airline, so we traveled very, very young, from when we were very young, to many different destinations. So obviously we grew up traveling. So that is something that hasn't left us. We do have obviously the common ground, but then it's what we choose to do differently as well. I think I would say that it's not what we choose. I have learned that the best things in life come when the thing or the career or the passion chooses you. So sometimes it's about what you choose, but what chooses you. And I believe that actually media chose me, not I chose the media. It wasn't something that I wanted to do or wanted to take particularly, because I was so young that probably I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So I think an opportunity came and one thing led to another, what followed, and then obviously the passion starts. So I think the best things in life, I would say, when something chooses you, not when you choose something.
So from what I'm understanding, destiny has a big part to play in it. Like you would start maybe with one passion or an idea or an interest, and then sometimes you kind of life takes you into a journey that's...
But your disposition as a person plays a big part, whether you take up an opportunity or you're a person who says, maybe I fear it, I don't want to do it, I can't, it's not the right time. So,
That's
destiny,
very true.
but the individual disposition of receiving.
Exactly. I think you've touched on a very, very important note there, because sometimes a lot of people will have certain decisions or opportunities, and fear will talk them out of it.
And responsibility sometimes as well, Like we were both lucky that we did quite a lot in our 20s. I had family in my 30s. So I was very lucky to not have anything stop me taking certain opportunities. It's not the same for everybody, and that has to be understandable, and accepted. But people should be, when they're growing up, made aware of, yourself, who you are, what you want, what there is out there, what you can learn. So that's very important.
Many a time we focus too much on what we want to do before we actually invest on who we are and what will we attract. So instead of choosing, I want to be, like imagine an 8-year-old, 10-year-old, I want to be an architect, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be that. Like, you don't even know yourself. We focus too much on what we want to do instead of who we are. So I think if I had to do this exercise with my children, I would work mostly for them to get to know who they are. Because if they know who they are, then what they want to do will be an add-on and a pleasure, not a burden. And we spend so many hours, so many days, so many years working that it's unfortunate to see it as a job rather than it's something that is fulfilling me,
an experience,
giving me. When we think of a job, we think of something that is draining us, not giving us. Obviously, putting aside the financial, which everyone needs. So I think the focus on who we really are rather than what we want to be or what we choose to be has become very important.
I think this generation realized that. I think maybe our generation didn't, because we wasn't brought up with that mindset, but I think maybe she's a little bit younger than me.
So she can... a lot in self-discovery, getting to know myself better, what are my passions, strengths.
That's very nice.
And it's an interesting journey,
It is.
And it's never ending. You could be 90 and you're still getting to learn about yourself.
And this is not obviously only about career and job related, it's also about life, who your friends are, your relationships, who you are as a person. So it's much more than that.
Yeah, it's nice, the self-discovery, and I would add to that, discovering you, or rather getting a set of tools, learning your skills. What are your skills? Are you a people person? Are you good with your hands? Are you an empathic person? Like, getting to know yourself will also discover your own skills.
Exactly.
Well, it's good.
That's very interesting what you said, that basically career has chosen you. And you mentioned also the importance of knowing yourself. In this aspect, would you advise someone to have future plans, or be open and be flexible and just go with the flow?
I don't think I would call them plans. I mean, you have to have a vision. You have to have a dream. You have to know what you're searching for. So it's not like you're going to just sit and wonder and sit down for something to come to you. As Clare said, we come from a background where we've seen both our parents work hard in life. So we have always been the ones, obviously us and the other siblings as well, to try on different things. We have always had this excitement about life. So unless you're going to indulge and do something, you're not going to know what your passion is. So I'm not saying just sit around and wait for something to come to you, but be there and be open. And by being open, I mean being active. Because there's a difference between waiting for something to come to me and I'm just sitting down, having my coffee and pretending that a miracle is going to happen. And there's a difference between being active, trying on different things, meeting different people, discovering what I like, discovering myself, and then obviously you take it from there. So I think I would say be active. But don't be limited. Don't say I want to be this and just stop there. Like say I want to be many, many things.
Mm-hmm. Today, there's a buzzword of diversification. It's everywhere. And sometimes I reflect a little bit on it and I say, oh, I should have, if I knew that word 20 years ago.
You could have owned it.
I could have patented it because I was diversified, you know. But it's even in our jobs, if we didn't diversify and remained just TV presenters, we wouldn't be.
In fact,
parents.
that's something that I really admire about both of you. You really are a good example in that aspect, that you've done so many different things in your lives, in your careers, let's say, because that's kind of when you look at someone, you know, and they've been so varied and they've complemented as well your grounding, you know, and that's really important because it shows that you can have passions and they don't have to be stuck in one aspect only.
Yes.
You can link them to other passions and keep on growing and
True. Having
evolving
said
yourself.
Having said that, I do not shy away from saying that there are people who you really see from when they're young that are
talented,
cut out, talented, one specific thing. So, you know, our forte is being diverse. Maybe theirs and their calling.
But there's a small percentage of these people.
Yes.
Most of us have to kind of hustle and diverse, and then, like you said, instead you fall into a role or situation that you say, they're stuck and it fits. You know?
And you also have to see the culture and also how the world evolved, how the country evolved.
Exactly.
Before, if you see someone that on a CV changed many jobs, your first interpretation would be, this one is not really settled. Today, these things, these life skills, you know, like they're valued.
Yeah.
Before, you know, like you used to look different if you're doing so many other things. Today, people see even the jobs, like even the lifelong learning. Before, it used to be your university or graduate, done. There's no more. If you're a graduate, you're done. There's nothing else you can
get a job.
In terms of education, you're done for life. Nowadays, you see people changing career in the middle of their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
I know someone doing a master in their 50s. You know, it's
exactly.
very normal.
And it's fantastic.
I know quite a few actually doing masters in their 50s, which is, and
amazing.
they don't really need it, but they just want to study.
learn.
You know, they want to learn and they want to. It's like a challenge, another challenge in their life, which is great.
So
I love.
culturally, we changed as well.
Yes,
in
I
terms
agree.
Of culture and the way we live and our lifestyle. So, and that's a good thing.
Of course it is, yes, because it's just always encouraging you to keep on evolving to a better version of yourself.
Definitely.
Which I think in turn helps society, family, relationships, children.
Certainly.
Yeah, there's a benefit. I always say, this is what I feel and what I believe. I don't know if it's the truth, but I always believe, I say, I'm a good mother because I work, and I do best at my job because I am a mother. I see them complementing each other so much that I don't see one without the other. I see them, that they go together.
Actually, it's interesting because I believe, through my knowledge, a lot of women are facing issues when they have to choose between career and children. Did you experience this?
The only factor there are two factors, I would say, time and money. So if you are not free to choose the time you work and the time to dedicate to your children, then you're going to have a conflict. And if you are bound to pay off certain loans and certain payments, and you are bound by getting a certain amount of money, then you are going to be in conflict. If you are able to have flexibility in these two, and I have to add a third, which is the support of the family and partners and who's ever around you, to have everybody having their share, because the children do not just belong to the mother, okay? And I'm not just putting the father as well here. I'm even putting, why not? Sisters helping each other. Why not? There's an auntie. There's your brother, who's an uncle. He's got 2 children. That's how in the old days it used to be. Children growing up together.
It takes a village to raise
Yes,
a child.
I was just thinking, I was trying to remember what the saying is, but I remember it was something like it takes a village to raise a child.
So
And we kind of lost that. Yes, we lost that. And it's true because I'm the same as you. I have 2 children and I had to take a period of my life where I stopped working or I really went to the bare minimum because I didn't have family here. I didn't have that help.
Support.
Then I thought to work, to pay someone else to raise my child didn't seem sensible for me. You know, like you said, sometimes if you're in a certain position, you're not going to throw away that position, or you don't wish to throw away. And that's fine as well.
Yes,
but
yes, each to his own.
Exactly.
We're never judgmental when we discuss this topic
it's such an individual choice, but it's not an easy choice neither.
But you have to look at the main factors.
I won't see it as a choice. I would see it as a priority, rather than a choice.
If you are free to
if you are free.
put those priorities how you want them, then good luck and well done to you.
Exactly.
But there are people who are not free to put priority.
And that's imposed on them.
Yes.
Because maybe the job needs 20 hours a day, 15 hours a day, whereas we could accommodate our work that when we were raising our children, we were, working around each other and saying, no, this is the best time to record because this is when, we record the programs. We do one program, not two. We take this much on, we take this much on. We know that at the end of the month, we're going to have less than we would be able to, but we're happy with that. So if you have this flexibility, it makes a major difference.
But you can. That is what I would go
back to. Yes, for sure. For sure you can.
And don't necessarily choose, but let something choose you. But because you can. Because if you're exposed to people in different groups, so you know how it might feel like to raise a child. For example, I always had friends who were older than me. So most of my friends had children before I did. So I was always exposed to this reality of working, of children. So I could see this. I could make my own choices. I could decide when I'm going to settle for this and when I'm going to do that. I had that opportunity. I feel blessed and grateful that I did. Yes. But that is why you're exposed, so that you would know at least what it feels like.
Yes, it's better to know what you're going into. Preferably before, and see how you're going to handle it.
Like Pauline is saying, if you are observant and eager to learn these things, both marriage for me in my case and children were not a surprise because I was seeing a lot of other examples before me. So by the time I had to do them, they were like, a lot of people tell you, it's a closed box, and then when you open it, you know what you're going in for. Also, like I said, I did it when I was 36. I had my first child. So that was, if I didn't know by 36 what it was going to, responsibility it was,
I got to jump in there a little bit. I had my first, my son when I was 34. And still it was a shock.
Really?
Yes, it still was a shock because it's different. And I love, like, when one of my friends used to have a baby, I used to take the baby and I'm like, like Nikki's going to babysit, we need a babysit. I loved babies. But then when I had my own, and it depends what type of baby.
What type of shock, Pat?
I cried on the way home thinking, oh my God, I need to keep this baby alive. Which was ridiculous. 34-year-old woman. Yes, and I was like, I doubted myself for a second, which is ridiculous. I know. It's like I had done so much with my life and traveled so many places, so many different jobs, worked on films. But I had this, and my husband was like,
so that's the shock.
Are you mad? And it was like the reality of the responsibility came down like a crushing ton of bricks,
Okay.
But it's
I understand
and then a colic baby, 6 months of crying is not much fun.
Oh, no.
But these things you have to, I'm very much honest to kind of say, listen, it's not a magazine type of lifestyle where you think your baby's going to sleep. I had 2 children, none of them slept the night till up to 3 years old.
Yeah.
You need to be honest.
Yeah. No,
because otherwise it's a big shock.
That's why you have to mentally
be prepared.
And this
is what you're facing.
This is why I'm saying I felt I was prepared, because I transferred all the knowledge that I had learned before of resilience, of having short nights because of work or things like that, of having stress, to this. So the emotions were not new to me, but the hardship was not new, because we had hardship from work, from other experiences.
But it's different, because I used to work on films before, mostly on films before I had my son. But it's different. It was a whole different, and I think I had a preconceived idea of how having my own baby would
It
be.
happens many a time in life.
You know?
Not when it comes to children only. When we have
And
preconceived
Sort of the
ideas.
magazines, like you're
No,
saying.
I mean, I knew it wouldn't be sort of all, but it's like I had every wrong thing that could have happened. It's like, really? You know?
And what you're
But it makes you a
saying is
stronger
very-
person.
Yes.
And what you're saying is very, very interesting, because that's what happens. Many a time, our hardships and our downfalls will be because the outcome was different than I expected.
Yes.
It's not because it was bad, but because it was different than I expected.
And everyone downplays it. Oh no, it's not that bad. Oh no, it will pass. And you're thinking, but I'm dying here. You know?
No, the
But-
moments are, those moments and those years are hard.
They're hard.
They can tell you, we can all tell each other, because, you know, we found each other to cry with all the time. When
Because I'm a
you know,
real
you're trying to
advocate
put your
for the
makeup on.
reality, you know.
No,
I tell all
no,
my
they
friends
are.
who are
Of
expecting,
course.
listen, it's beautiful and it's the love that you will never experience in your life.
But it takes work.
But exactly,
Yes.
there is going to be moments that you just think, what did I do to myself? You know, I need to sleep. I have a migraine that's never gone away for like 3-4 months, you know.
Oh, bless.
But you have to stop working during your pregnancy and first months, years, no? You kept working.
No, we scheduled our program, like we would if we know we're going to go into labor.
Well, I'm not ashamed
Wow.
to
We
say,
record programs.
I actually scheduled the kids. I'm not ashamed to say it, because I have both children born in June. Because we stopped for summer, so I tried and I did it twice. So I even scheduled the kids, because for me it was important, first and foremost, because at that time I had both of them. I was involved in projects with other people, so somehow I felt responsible, even though, again, I was very blessed and grateful that everyone would help and work around me having the baby, but I still felt responsible, so I can't just drop out of a project. So I said, if I'm going to try and schedule, and I scheduled them, so
That's
they were...
Pauline. That's me.
Perfectionist.
Yes,
No,
Control
I-
freak and perfectionist.
yeah, I want to be there for not I want to be there. I said, I don't know what's going to happen in the birth, so I want to make sure that I'm healed properly before I go back to
Strategic
TV.
planning.
Totally.
Yes, I'm a
Wow.
planner, so I said, I'm going to try, and it worked both twice.
We
No, I
actually-
just realized this year that my children are not going to be so happy, because now I just realized that their birthday will always fall
For
during the
exams.
exams.
Oh.
So they're probably going to hate me until the age of 15,
my-
and then they're going to be fine.
Mind you, my birthday was always the day before we started school, because I'm in September. So
Okay.
I grew up like that, so it's okay.
So now I know.
You know what
Will be.
they'll
But
start
for
doing?
mommy,
Like,
it's work.
you start.
I will tell them. For
Yeah, but you know
mommy,
what?
June
Happy
work.
mom, happy children. That's the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
important
yeah.
sometimes.
No, we were blessed, because I mean, in my case, when I had my first, my mom was still very much hands-on with my baby. So he was the first one from our 4, because then my brother has another 2 as well. But so she was very present. With my second one, I needed help, so I had to get like a nanny that helped me out, because then I had 2. For the
Yes.
first year, I had that. And it, I mean, I would say it was always a dialogue for me, like with my husband, and how is it going to work? And nothing was put in stone, or what you say, black or white. It's like, let's check out this, if this formula works for us. And if it doesn't, we will change next year, you know? But there was a time when, yes, you feel very, very tense and very, very stressed, because you have your workload and your baby load. But thank God they
It
passed.
passes, exactly.
Yes, and I look back now and I say, you know, I mean, yeah, well, we had, but who doesn't have hard months and hard
Yes,
days?
for sure. It's the journey.
What do you expect?
It's part of the
Exactly.
journey.
It's just
And
how
I think
it
it
is.
makes you stronger as a woman. I never felt as feminine and strong until I became a mother. And that's what I keep telling Daria. I said that the in tuneness you feel with your body, and you just kind of own your femininity.
Yes.
I believe, you know, obviously everyone's different.
It's
but
also okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it. The worst is judgment and feeling conscious that other people are judging you, because it's also okay if you want to stop your career and spend a few
Yes, of
years
course.
and then go back. life now is not like
That's what I did,
a
and I don't
pattern.
regret it.
You create your own pathway in life. I mean, okay, some say you must stop at 65, but you see what's happening. Others are continuing working. Some people are retiring early. Why can't we all make our path in life?
You do what's good for you.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
I plan to work into my 70s. So I stopped for a chunk of period, and now I've got the zest to keep on going.
It depends, because now with all the HD and the 4K and all this, I'm worried to be on TV at 70.
It's true.
Yes, but they're always inventing some kind of anti-aging miracle cure. There's, so exactly awesome. I don't know, like prosthetic, half robot, half AI now.
Yes, true.
So I'm not worried about that.
No, it will come. It will come. That's good.
So just to kind of let our viewers know some of your achievements. I mean, you've been in the TV industry for like 25 years, but then you had the secret ambition to become a pilot.
Oh, sweet.
At 35, which is...
Well, actually, at 35,
amazing.
I got my license. I had the want to be a pilot since I was in my teens. What happened was I was always very passionate with aviation, probably influenced heavily by our father. So, for example, Pauline and I shared a room. I'm sure she remembers, even though she's younger than me, that in my teens, we didn't have posters of men or whatever you used to have.
Pop
Stars. That's what I meant, pop star, not men. When I had like airplanes and Top Guns, and that's what I had. That was my passion. It didn't get lost, but it was not possible at that time to do the private pilot's license by yourself unless you apply with the
An
airline, which didn't come, the applications didn't come out. So I got moved into theatre and television, and that quickly took over. But I did it when I was 20. I did my ground school here because this was the only possible thing. Then I didn't have the money to do the flying because I had to go abroad, so I had to work. I started working, I continued working. And then I did it later on. So I did it when I was 35, when then locally there were schools that could do the flying hours here, so it was much cheaper, more possible, I had earned more, I was in a better position to do it. It didn't serve me as a career, but that was fine because I already had one and I didn't need another one. So it was just basically to satisfy my
That
passion.
would have changed the whole dynamic, because obviously you fly because you like it.
Yeah.
So that would have been a job.
If it became
I
a
wouldn't
job.
see her doing it as a job. to be
No,
honest.
I would have done it as a job if I would have joined
started
an
it.
Air Force. Because I love jets, but I don't
the
like
commercial.
commercial flying of
At
planes.
35, she did the license for planes. At 45, for boats. At 55, I'm curious which is going
What's coming out next?
Yes, I
I'm
love.
curious and worried at the same time.
Yeah, I never stopped learning. But yes, last year we were like, let's get a boat. So I got the license and we studied, and I love the sea. I'm very, very passionate
Yes,
about
I've
sea.
noticed actually in your posts, you post a lot about keeping the ocean
What does it
clean.
give you to having this passion so like?
Oh my God, it's like
They're very different from what we do on a day-to-day basis,
yes,
I think.
Mind you, the sea, I'm really putting all my passions together. Basically, it's first and priority, it's looking after yourself, and I really found the benefits of swimming throughout winter. So I've done it now for 2 years already that I've never stopped swimming.
You swim in
I swim in winter as well, and
in the
no
sea?
wetsuit in the sea.
Wow.
This is not a commonality, okay?
No,
so
I've been
just to
trying
make
to.
sure.
I've been trying to
get this.
convert her.
Ah,
Because I've
okay,
been doing
we
ice
get it.
baths for the past years.
I can only swim when the water is really warm.
And you make a cup of tea and it doesn't
Exactly. And I like having
I think I'm
warm
more Pauline's
showers.
level, I'm afraid.
No.
So we don't
I
share.
stick to Clare.
I like cold, so I've become really thrilled with the feeling of cold. So that I also love and have a very big passion about the environment, and I'm an advocate on, advocating how important it is not just the sea but our environment. So I influence my children, everyone that's around me. So I also do it from that aspect, even bring it into my job. When I do the traveling programs, I raise awareness. So that passion is still alive, and it's a combination of things. But yes, what about your passions? Let me tell you something that's really not common and that she's very good at, and I'm hopeless.
No, wait, what are you going to say?
Interior design.
Yes, we know.
She likes it.
I love
she
it.
secretly likes it.
I'm just not good at it at all.
But you have your sister. It's
Yes,
fine. You
exactly.
can drive her in the plane and the
Yeah,
boat,
exactly.
and she can style your home and your interiors. It's a really good combination.
Any place I'm in, I can style whatever it is, because obviously I love my surroundings. I was always like this.
Sometimes she tells me, what did you do there? I'm like, it's long.
And she'll be really, really thinking it's
Like
perfect,
it's
spot on. So secretly,
so when she goes to make you tea, do you like secretly rearrange
No, she didn't.
her shelves
She's
or
given up years ago. She just comes into my house with blinkers.
and tries to
if
walk
you're going
past?
to ask me, I'm going to, but... So if someone needs to clear, like even while there says, I need to clear this, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to be of great help. And just get a
You're good.
garbage bag and get rid of everything.
So your sister already jumped in, Claire. So we know that you've been doing a program for around 11 years with interior designing. What kind of drew you to interior designing? Because obviously 20 years ago, it wasn't such a big thing in Malta.
And
Not
discover
at
a
all.
passion.
And even there's not that kind of people that you could see that you would be motivated or inspired locally at those days. Now, yes.
I think today I'm happy to say that I've seen this industry grow so much, because as you're saying before, you couldn't even think of it, not even a profession. I'm not a professional in the area, it's just a passion of mine.
But you have so many years experience as well. That makes you a professional.
Yes, I've been lucky enough to meet all the designers, local designers, and see how they work and see what they do. And it's nice and interesting that I've seen this evolving throughout these years, and also the love of people, because again, going back to the culture and the roots, all Maltese people, actually the local people, love their home. It's not something you do up once and then you're done for the rest of your life. We like changing, we like buying second properties, we like moving and upscaling and downgrading and this and that. So people downsizing. People love doing this a lot. And the local people tend to, for example, it was interesting because when I started the program, in my head it was aimed for individual or couples who are starting up their house and who are doing their first property. But then I realized, hold on, the audience is bigger than I thought, because everyone loves their home. And even if you're settled into your home, you're saying, I need to do the bedroom and I need to change my bathroom and I need to do this and that. And I think from one thing it led to another, and it's been going on and doing so well that I couldn't stop it if I wanted.
But it was your first program. We were 17.
Coincidentally, that's how I started.
Last time I remember going on the bus with the backpack. Remember that story?
I wasn't intended to obviously do television, and at the time I was doing drama, and I said, we would like you to audition for this part as a presenter. We're not promising you're getting the part, but we would like you to audition. Surely enough, I auditioned, I got the role of this presenter, and it was to do an interior design program. So I presented only, I had nothing to do with the production, but I was happy that I'm presenting something that I actually like and have a passion for. And then I went back to university. And today I do the same thing that obviously my roots took me back to when I started.
Wow.
So I think it's
Destiny.
it's destiny.
Yeah. And,
But you also have a cookery book as well. Yes. So
And cooking
again,
program.
another something not common. That's when I phone up. Remember that recipe that you made? So, like, how many times do I call you to tell me the recipe of the oat muffins, banana muffins?
She keeps doing the same recipe and then she calls me every time. But then she gets it, like, for after I don't know how many calls, but then it's something she thinks she doesn't like, but she likes cooking. She cooks a lot.
I just don't. It's like if you had
don't
to
like
give me a
spending time
choice
in the kitchen.
and you had half an hour exactly, would you go in the kitchen and make some muffins, or would you jump in the sea? I would jump in the sea. So you have to make these choices constantly. So that's
it's like you want to eat healthy, so you
Yes,
kind of have to do it.
I want to do it.
I'm that kind of chef. Like want for healthiness makes me be a bit more savvy in the kitchen.
I love cooking. And
She's a breakfast maker. She loves to make breakfast.
that's nice.
My favorite meal.
But she tells me, that's all I know. I can give you eggs and salmon, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Really?
I said, that's really good though.
And what time do you normally do it? As in,
That's kind of my morning routine. So I don't like
Okay.
cooking, but morning has
breakfast.
to be slow.
Oh.
And for me, slow morning, it's reading or meditating or going for a walk and cooking and having slowly my breakfast. So then
Nice.
I'm charged and I'm ready to
and
go.
then you're ready to go.
Yes.
That's very nice.
But if I skip this, because I used to work in a bank and I had to be at 8:30 a.m. every day
At the bank.
workplace, yes, exactly. And if I skip my morning routine, if I skip my breakfast, that's all, my day is ruined. So I had to take it slowly, me time, and then
Which would
I'm ready
mean
to go.
waking up very, very early then.
Yes,
Wow.
but
Okay.
I like
I'm
waking
just
up early.
beginning to, my body clock is just beginning to wake me up early for the first time in my life,
Yes.
because I've always been groggy at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's, I'm enjoying it somehow because the slow start has its benefits.
Yes, it's very important,
I'm
mentally,
going
I think.
to- But I haven't forced it. It's not an alarm thing; it's a body clock thing. So I mean, I'm just gonna start tapping into what one does when there's an early body clock waking you up and putting in a bit more me time. And I used to find that, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, when everybody else is sleeping and your day is done, and then you start to do a little bit of me time. So, but I think in the morning it's beautiful.
No, I'm an early riser as well. Even if I don't want to wake up, I'm up by 6 every day. Can be a bit annoying on a Sunday or when you have holidays.
Yeah.
But then I say, like I have that bit of time for myself, peace and quiet.
It's
That
true,
is
there is a
what
lot
I
of-
love, that you have the first half an hour to an hour.
You make peace with it instead of obviously trying to fight it.
Yes,
If you're up, you're up.
I've become programmed because of the kids in school, so that's how I am. The only thing is my daughter wakes up,
Before you.
no, pretty much after me. So if she hears a slight noise, Mommy's up. And she wants to come and join me.
excited, ready to.
Yes, and I'm like,
I'm like
but
a
now
mouse
it's quiet
in the morning
time,
as
you know.
well. That's true, because you want to prolong
Yes, I wake up sometimes, even at 5:30, thinking, okay, maybe I can journal, and then I hear these little footsteps. And I just think, oh well, we'll just cuddle and I'll try to journal as best as I can.
Oh, how sweet.
But what would be for you me time? Or how do you nurture yourself?
I think I'll find pockets. I love doing the pockets. I don't particularly like fight to have the me time or try to schedule the me time. I think nowadays with the routine, with the kids and with everything, I like the pockets of me time. So for example, even if I'm in the car going from one place to another, I would consider that as a me time, either from listening to music I like, or even just thinking or being quiet in my time. So for me time is very much pocket-based me time. I would schedule something like I have a party or I have dinner or there's going to be me and I'm going to chill out with my friends. I would have the dates, I would call them. But I think for a day-to-day, I go for pocket me times. I, for example, always end my day with a cup of tea. That is like a ritual to me, and that's I'm telling my body now, it's the end is over, the day is over, and you're going to sleep. So I do that as a ritual, but I think my me time would be in pocket size.
I think with the busy schedule, it works probably the best.
You have to accept it. I had to accept that my me time changes between one month and another. There are months in our schedule and in our life where there's not much room for me time, and that would be September, October, But in a whole year, let's look at a whole year. There's always room for me time in a whole year, and that would mean, like Pauline is saying, in my case, for example, I would plan the holidays because those are me time as much as family time. But for me, the me time would be if I'm on holiday, then I can do yoga because I'm there. I just open a mat wherever I am, or if nothing, I just do. So that's a me time. Locally, me time for me is the sea. And I've done it at any time of the day and any month and any, I wouldn't say weather, but I live in an area where I can, if it's windy from this side, I go to this side. If it's windy from this side, I go to this side. So there is no excuse for the sea in my case. And it takes me very, very short because I don't swim to train. I literally swim to revive. So even a jump and 15 minutes and out is enough for me. And usually when I go to the beach, I'm a laugh because I will just go with my towel, no matter what time it is, what month it is. I come out and I drive in a towel. So I say, if it's winter and there's an accident, and I'm in an accident, I have to get out with my swimsuit, with my towel, and tell the warden, sorry,
This is me.
Yes. But I found the sea to be really, really therapeutic. But
I think you've stumbled on something really interesting because you've given yourself, and you've mentioned this so many times before, because Daria, she tells me sometimes, if you take away the limitations on certain things that you want to do, and you've literally left it to the bare minimum, you go in your flip-flops, your swimming suit, and a towel. There's no changing. There's no exactly. There's not even. I have to get changed afterwards. I have to do this. No, it's just like literally. I'm in. I'm out. I've done it.
That's it. And it's the wash, the wash, especially in winter, because obviously there is the feeling of cold. Is not only. The water is not only here, it's a mental wash. I call it in winter, is if somebody put a pipe of water inside my brain and washed me from the inside. That is how I feel when I swim in winter, in cold.
I think because you've shocked the body.
Yes.
So you've taken from one stressful
your
environment.
Circulation just goes,
No, I can understand.
Yes,
I just don't want to do it. No, I
think it takes a certain mindset.
Yes.
Like you said, you got yourself used with ice baths before. I think you need to prepare. You can't just one fine day throw yourself in.
No.
And then say, okay, I'm going to do this for every day. Yeah, psychologically you have to build yourself. Yeah. I mean, I can understand. I can imagine that it takes you from maybe a stressful environment or carrying a load of problems to suddenly your body's shocked and you're in the moment. You can't be more in the moment than that.
That's it.
And then you're like, okay, you know what?
And it's, for me,
I've washed it away.
As in it's short because, like I'm saying, sometimes we're very stuck and you don't have the time that you want, but the shock makes up for the time. So even just those 5 minutes, the shock gives you the same buzz as an hour would of doing, I don't know, a job, which because sometimes I do as well. I vary a lot.
With me time, you need to be practical as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can write a beautiful list of different me times I can have, but you need to be practical.
No, exactly.
With the time you have, because then again, you're not going to meet your expectations.
And you feel frustrated. You're
going to feel bad. I don't have any time for myself. You're going to go into the mood of complaining. So we need to be practical in what we do.
I think appreciate the small things, even if it's just having a coffee on your own and saying, I've taken that 5-10 minutes and I've had, a bit of self-reflecting time and just relaxing.
Especially at this moment in our lives, where our children are growing up, we want to obviously be there to take them to sports, to do this, to do that, and then, take them here. So I like that. Even holidays, when you go on holiday, you're tired.
Yes, it's exhausting. I always tell her I need a holiday after I've just come back from holiday.
But the beauty of that holiday, because of the time we're in, is not going to last forever.
Yes, for sure.
They're not going to be 9, 10 anymore.
Mine is 12 and a half and he's taller than me, and I see him becoming more and more independent and slipping away, but it's normal. It's part of, we all did it.
So we just go through the phase that we're in and know that nothing is forever. It's like the moment and then we change. And
so if you had to give one each piece of advice to our viewers, maybe in any aspects, if they have certain career dreams or life goals, maybe they feel a bit they're too big, how are they going to achieve them, or they don't know what they want in life. What kind of advice, with all your vast experience and even you're such a practical, you have such a practical mindset.
I think
What would
from
be your
my
words of
end, I
wisdom?
would say, if you want to be successful in life, no matter the area, career, relationships, life, family, if you want to be successful, you have to be able to withstand change and adapt to change.
That's very wise.
I would say that is where you're the most successful. You're not going to grow in your comfort zone. Comfort zones are nice, they're really nice and comfortable and cozy, but there is no growth. In a comfort zone, there is no growth. If you want growth, you have to do the change. You have to be able to adapt to the change.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And embrace the change.
And embrace
Yes.
it. Don't fight it, embrace it, yes.
I'm going to go to something very simple because it's even to myself a reminder all the time, that ultimately when we all look inside, what we want is happiness. Okay, and that's, if you remove all the suffering that's around us, all the problems or the issues, if we really look to be happy and what makes us happy, no one will tell you stress makes me happy.
Of course.
No one will tell you complicated and confliction make me happy. So when you look inside you and you really promise yourself that you're going to do everything today that brings me happiness, your job, your study, the people you meet, it's not because life is always happy.
No, but you're
but
choosing joy.
But
Exactly.
attracting joy and
Yes.
attracting happiness.
I agree.
Will build you, will make you,
And guide you, I think.
And
Because
guide you.
if you feel that, this situation doesn't make me happy, how can I remove myself? Sometimes you can't, but you can start maybe working on how to.
Yes.
So yes,
yes.
I
So that,
think
really
it's
simple,
amazing.
understand and be grateful for what you have and always work with what you have. So whatever situation you're in, this is what I have right now and I have to work with it. But do it with a smile and with positivity, because that is going to get you through the day and move you. You cannot, if you work from this place of happiness, you cannot attract bad things.
I agree.
They will come around and you will deal with them, but you will never attract them, that they will attach to you and
stay with you.
And stay with you. So
Positive mindset.
Positive mindset.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. That's how I kind of try to live my life as well.
sometimes I would like to say this, sometimes we need to force it. And it's okay. For example, you force a smile. You know what? It's okay. Force it, because just the fact that your lips did that, things are biologically moving chemically and you are helping the situation. So even if sometimes you need to force that joy or happiness, do it anyway.
It will eventually become natural.
It's like kindness. I liked, in my area where I live, or if I'm walking down the street and someone looks at me and smiles, I smile back, say hi, good afternoon, good morning. People say it back. And sometimes my daughter used to tell me, do you know them? No, I'm just being kind, And I think that's
Still vibrating on the same.
yes, and I think that
energy level.
attracts then more, like you're saying, joy and happiness and goodness in your life.
Goodness.
Because you're giving off that energy.
Maybe on this positive note,
Yes.
we finish our episode.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you for
Thank
We
you.
really
Pleasure
enjoyed.
to
We could have
have you.
carried on for hours.
Yes. In fact, at one point when you mentioned the views, I'm like, oh yeah.
We just needed a cup of tea, Pauline. Next time we'll have tea and biscuits. Thank you so much. It was really, really interesting. And we'd hope to have you again sometime in the future. and we
Thank
can
you.
continue.
Thank you.
On that note, we'd like you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this conversation and more topics like this. We'll catch you next time.
See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.